All right, Jerry Joya here. So, mini episode number 2. I'm going to call this one "Doing the Best They Can," and doing the best you can, or doing the best they can. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure this one out together by the end of the episode. What should we title it? Feel free to comment below. I can change the title later, or at least I can tell Tanya. Tanya, can you change the title? We got some comments. Yeah, so she's agreeing to that. So here's the deal. Early on in sobriety, and even to this day when I struggle from time to time being comfortable in my own skin, I'm reminded back to the real struggles of trying to find emotional stability and learning the tools of working emotional sanity into my life and dealing with other people's personalities, which can be obviously, as we all know, a real challenge sometimes. Here's the thing. I can remember having some very difficult things happen to me where people were, and I'm not going to put specifics out there because I'm going to be critical of other people, and I don't want specifically to call out exactly what or who caused me pain. But there were things that were happening in my life in early recovery where it was clear to me that people were causing me challenges that didn't have to be there, and challenging my ability to be well, be sane, be sober. And it wasn't necessary that they were doing that. And I can remember my sponsor saying to me, kind of reasoning with me, like, let's try and imagine what it's like to be this person who's doing this, or who has authority over you and who's making these decisions that are impacting you negatively. And we were both in agreement. They were impacting me negatively. But let's try and imagine their motives and their reasoning behind it. Are they nefarious? Are they just, sadistic? In reality, it's pretty clear, even when I was in the heat of my passions and really challenged to negotiate the emotional landscape of my life, that no, these people weren't evil. They were just maybe egotistical or prideful or grandiose in their own being, believing that they knew what was best for me and probably for society as a whole. And does that make them wrong? Yes, absolutely it makes them wrong. But does it make them mean? No, it doesn't make them mean. Would the world be better if they weren't using their authority in this way? Yeah, it probably would. However, would it be better if I was to use my physical authority to make them not do this? No, most definitely not. It wouldn't be better. That would hurt everything. The right thing to do here was to not do anything. And wow, what a difficult thing that can be to do. Especially, the opposite of not doing, the right thing being not doing something, of course, is the right thing being doing something. And those can both be very difficult positions to be in as an individual. But what I'm talking about here is being in a situation where the right thing to do is to just be well in the moment and learn to live with the pain and the discomfort which is being caused upon you against your will. However, the right thing to do, the best thing for everybody, knowing, or at least from our perspective, is to just deal with it. What a nightmare. And the one thing that I was challenged by with my sponsor is, and he didn't say, here's what I'm challenging you with, but he said something that made perfect sense to me. He said, for the most part, everybody's just doing the best that they can. And wow, that really resonated with me, because the reality of the situation was I was doing the best that I could, and it was clear that I was still causing pain in my life and in the lives of others. Not intentionally, but in retrospect, I could see it happening. And as I was beginning to gain perspective and emotional and psychological sobriety, I could see that, yeah, I was making the wrong call once in a while. And I was having to go clean up that mess and try and make an amends and try and make it right, which just made that much more work, and it made my life that much more difficult. However, then the payoff was that much greater too. But the reality was I was doing the best that I could and still causing pain. And these people were probably doing the best that they could and still causing pain. And even if they aren't, a lot of times, even if they are truly being sadistic, a lot of times the right thing for society, the right thing for our community as a whole is to just do nothing. I mean, we look at Gandhi, what a tremendous example he showed through, his attitude of nonviolence and of inaction, and just, enduring the challenges, both physical and emotional, that were put on him and his people. And, even the inaction to not eat, he was making a choice to hunger strike in jail, and that's a choice of inaction at his own peril, causing him pain. Seeing that inaction was the right thing, and what a powerful thing it did. We look at Martin Luther King and his attitude of inaction, of nonviolence. I mean, obviously they took action, and they were criminals by all definitions of the law. They were marching down streets that they should, by law, were not allowed to march down, and therefore they are criminals. Now we look at that today, we say, well, maybe they weren't, but in complete disclosure, absolutely, they were breaking the law, the same way that slaves who ran away were breaking the law. And does that make it right? No. But does it make it illegal? Yes. They're not synonymous. Sometimes the right thing to do is to not act out. Martin Luther King acted out by marching, and then when they came and rounded the people up with violence, they didn't fight back, and that was pretty awesome. That was the equivalent of being being inactive and making a difference by not doing something. So coming full circle to where I started off, and people intentionally, or better yet, not intentionally, but absolutely causing harm and challenges in my life, which made it difficult for me to negotiate my newfound emotional sobriety without any tools, or very little tools, to deal with who I was and the pain that I had caused. I found out that in reality, inaction is action. By choosing to not act, you are still choosing something. And it is a choice, and it is sometimes the most difficult thing to do. And to quote my best friend, sometimes, if not always, or better yet, let me rephrase, most times, if not always, the more difficult choice is the right choice. Hey, thanks for joining me for this mini episode. I hope you liked it. Please comment, subscribe to our channel, and look forward to seeing you on our next live. Wait a minute, disclaimer: if you are being physically harmed, find help. That's right. That's a disclaimer. If you are being physically harmed, please find help. Thank you. Bye-bye.